Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
You know what? From now on, I'm going to stop asking how dumb can Elizabeth Warren and the Democrats get? They seem to be taking it as a challenge. It's true. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot. Come on, Patriots, dial that number and give us our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. And a good morning to you and yours on this Wednesday, the last Wednesday of June already. June 26th, Zeb at the Ranch, and of course I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best and the safest of tires for your driving. Stop in and see them today, along with some of our great advertisers, including Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Well, good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, Wheels, you're doing good. Thank you much. And right now, the weather forecast brought to you by K&R Rental. They get there early in the morning on these beautiful summer mornings at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn, right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. You can't miss them. And Roger and the crew are ready to give you and provide you the rental of the best tools and equipment you need. And don't forget, they're a proud distributor of the Skag lawnmowers. They've got all your gardening equipment, all your lawn equipment, rototillers, you name it. It's all there for you. The rental of the best tools and equipment for you, 678-3122, K&R Rental. Here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast as we hit midweek stride, making our way towards the weekend. And today's going to be a nice day, looking at partly sunny skies. Expecting a high of 81 tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 53 tomorrow. Another nice one. Mostly sunny skies, slightly breezy, high of 78. Looks like clouds are going to be rolling in for tomorrow night with a low of 51. Looks like mostly cloudy for Friday, only a high of 75. And then as we kick off the Rupert 4th of July celebrations on Saturday, mostly sunny skies and 80. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Range.
Oh, my goodness. It is a good sounding forecast. Thank you. And brought to you by K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Like I said, right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. Easy to find and very nice to work with. K&R Rental, 678-3122. A couple of mentions quickly before we start rolling the ball down the alley this morning. Lunch Bunch will be coming up at Denny's Restaurant, and it's tomorrow. Oh, have we got a treat for you. Yes, sirree, Bobby. And, of course, America's Diner, great place to eat anytime, all the time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley. And don't forget, We're going to have a lot of door prizes to give away, thanks to our dear friends at Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Denny's, all of this and so much more at our lunch bunch tomorrow at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, America's Diner. Want to also give a great big shout out this morning. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Ramsey Heating and Electric and all the great people over there that have been serving you for over 6 decades. Wonderful people, Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. They also get there early, 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. And it's not brag, it's a fact. All your heating and cooling and electrical needs, all the air conditioning filters to keep you cool. Weather's warming up. You better be ready to go. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb, and it is a good morning. You know, the Bible has been predicting the future for many, many, many years, maybe centuries. Wars and rumors of wars. We've got wars breaking out all over the place. Pestilence and disease. We've got disease breaking out on the border now, and we've got people who are carrying disease that have come across the border. We don't know who they are, where they are. They're here to spread diseases all over our country. And we have the Democratic Party, who is trying to assassinate mentally the best president this country has ever had, and that is its entire goal.
I can't argue with you, but I would like to make one small correction in your verbiage, if I may. And this is not to correct you on the radio, it's just a fact. The Bible doesn't predict anything. It tells you what is going to happen.
Yes, and it is happening.
That's right.
I'm not a big Bible person, but I understand what's going on there, and I don't know why the Democratic Party can't see what's the destruction that this disease is going to cause in our problem.
Well, whatever is going to... I agree with you. And whatever is going to happen is and has been said and stated in the Bible for thousands of years. And it's not a prediction. It's a known fact. And if we'd lived by what the Bible tells us, we'd all be a lot better off. Tony, I really appreciate your call every morning. You and Mary have a great day. By the way, go over and give her a great big kiss and tell her it's from Zeb, okay?
I certainly will.
All right, don't get slapped. Don't get slapped. Okay, buddy. Bye. Thank you. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. I want to remind everybody about if you're aching and paining, I know the place to go. That, of course, is Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Ho, ho, ho. They get the job done. Let me tell you, they know all the exercises, and they know how to serve you. Let me tell you, to get you back to being you. That's right, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, with Nick Greenwell and the entire staff. And we started a segment every other Thursday on this program of introducing to you the various people that work there, serve you, and can help you at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. And, of course, the number to call, please do it today, 678-1191. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, the 4th of July parade this year is going to have a really nice marshal and his wife, Dean Cameron. And what I'm going to suggest, if I could ever talk to Dean, would be him to run against Simpson. I think he'd be a great candidate. What do you think?
Oh, I can't argue that Dean Cameron would be exceptional for that. I don't know what his thinking is in leaving the Department of Insurance, possibly leaving the state of Idaho and having to reside back in the swamp and the mess in D.C. I think talent-wise, I think the Dean is much more amenable to working with people and showing that he cares. What else do you want me to say?
Well, I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about us.
Well, that's a good point.
Let's be right honest with each other here.
Okay.
I just want somebody worthwhile there.
Well, I want somebody that I can feel comfortable in talking to that is going to be open and upfront about the various issues of which Mike Simpson has not been. And it's really a sharp blow in the nose to his constituents that Mike won't take the time to call this talk show. And this is going to sound bad when I say it because it sounds like I'm patting myself on the back, but I'm not. I'm being honest. It's the most listened to talk show during this time slot anywhere. So come on, Mike, call in and let your people know what's going on.
Well, how can we even get Dean to entertain this? He doesn't know that he's a good candidate.
Well, you tell him. You talk to him. You know, one thing I've said on this radio wait a minute, Keith. Wait a minute. One thing I've said on this radio program is a lot of times people call in and they say, well, Zeb, why don't you tell him? Zeb, why don't you call him? Why don't you call him? Why don't you take care of it? Because, you know, it's not just one man's voice that needs to be heard.
You know, I'm the kind of guy that likes to get the fight started and then step back and watch.
Well, you better not with me. You better stay in there and guard my back. You better get involved, my friend.
No, I say things sometimes that are just trying to be funny, but I really think he would be a great candidate. And if I could talk to him, I think I would certainly mention it to him.
All right, you can talk to him.
He is probably very intense.
Yeah.
Commissioner of Insurance.
Well, you know, all you have to do, Keith, all you have to do is pick up the phone, dial that office, talk to him on the telephone, and I encourage you to do it. I do. I encourage you to do it because it was your thought, your concept, and I think you should take the initiative to find out an answer. I appreciate that.
You know, I'm going to look around, see if I can find my phone.
Yeah, right. Okay, buddy. See you later. Thank you. All right. All right. Calls are welcome. 436-2244. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't go away. Want to remind you, Dr. Bill's having a birthday on this Sunday at Ark Animal Hospital. You know, I'm smiling because he's trying his doggondest to catch up with me, but he's still going to be a couple years behind. Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street in Hayburn, near Connection Credit Union. Oh, these are good people that really, really care about the health of your animals. You should too. All you need to do to make sure they stay right on top of things health-wise is give them a call for any and all problems. Absolutely, they are there to serve you and your animals. Ark Animal Hospital, 678-1177. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses, and Dr. Bill celebrating a birthday. Oh, my goodness. Also, Jake over at Rain for Rent. I know these guys are busy. Whoa, yeah, during irrigation season, they're kind of meeting themselves coming around the corner. Well, they're a Reinke Diamond dealer, Platinum Plus certified pivot techs, and they've got the telemetry annex boxes for any pivot, and you can get a hold of them. They can help set up through your telephone. I mean, this modern day of technocracy and technology, I'm lost in the dust. These people are good. Rain for Rent, 134 South 600 West of Paul, and the number to call, 438-5065. That number again, 438-5065. Rain for Rent. Good morning, Jake and the crew. Good folks. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Zeb. You know, last night I was watching the news, and Pocahontas came on, and she says we ought to decriminalize all the illegal aliens. We ought to open our borders and let anybody in that needs to come in. I've got an addition to that. Why don't we just decriminalize all of our people that are in prison and let them go, or anybody that's committed a crime, just not punish them? I'll bet that would really solve a lot of our crime problems in this country.
Well, Jerry, wait a minute. Let me jump in on you a little bit. Whoa, Jerry, please. We got to interact. When you pause, you got to give me a break to get in. You just made some statements that I want you to elaborate on. If you are going to open up the concept of, well, no borders, anybody can come in here. They're free to move. They're free to stay. You don't have a country. Why would the people living in the country, you and me, want to be taxpayers to a country that's not a country?
I think it'd be plumb stupid to put it point blank.
Well, it is plumb stupid. You're 100% correct. Elizabeth, I said in the opening, Jerry, that absolutely I'm going to adhere to this. I'm going to stop saying how dumb can the Democrats be, because people like Elizabeth Warren seem to take it as a challenge to get dumber and dumber. This is the most ridiculous, most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life. Open borders, everybody's coming in, and the stupid taxpayers, you and me, are footing the bill.
Oh, I'm tired of paying for them. I'm tired of giving illegal aliens anything. I think we ought to take everything away from them instead of give them. I don't think they should get any medical care. I don't think they should get anything. I'm just hard-nosed about it, and I'm probably even going to get worse.
No, you should be. We all should be. You had the guts and the gumption to call in and state your case, and people know who you are. People know who I am. I don't want to give away one blankety-blank dime more for illegal immigrants, if you want to call them that. I refer to them as illegal aliens because they are illegal, and they are aliens from another country. I don't want to give them anything. They should stay in their own home, try to rectify their own problems, and by golly, if the leadership of their country isn't doing the job, throw them out.
Well, I absolutely agree with you, so I'll get out of your way. Let's get somebody else on there that maybe got a more wonderful subject to talk about.
Jerry, you're always welcome.
So that's a fact.
You're always welcome. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Jerry's 100% right.
The Lord bless you and every one of them little kids out there listening.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much.
A 90-year-old one.
All right, buddy. Thanks. Elizabeth Warren has just gone so far to the left, and we're going to hear her incompetency and her stupidity tonight. She is going to be in the first round of the Democratic debates in Miami tonight. You know, honestly, come on, somebody call me. Jerry was spot on. What in the world are you going to have for a country with no borders, a decriminalization of anybody that wants to just walk right in? Why in the world would we be dumb enough? Really, I keep using stupid and dumb because that's what it is. You can't glorify anything other than those words. We're going to be dumb enough to be taxpayers and sit there and pay for the options and control of government, supposedly, and for all the amenities that we're supposed to get as citizenry? We're going to keep on paying while everybody can walk in, free to move, go where they please, free to stay here, perhaps collect on some of the social money. Are you kidding me? All on our dime? We should stop paying every red cent to the government. If someone like Elizabeth Warren gets elected to the presidency, there will be no United States of America. Why should there be? How could there be? How can you elect somebody with an open borders? Everybody, y'all come on in. It's a big kumbaya party. And then we get the tax notices to pay for all the freebies. This is insane. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Holy moly, don't forget this weekend. It starts tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow in the evening over at the Rupert Square, the great big world-famous Idaho Regatta. June 27, 28, 29, and 30. Right down there with the racing at the Burley Golf Course Marina. Oh, man, they've got a lot of big boats coming in that can reach speeds, some of them up to 140 miles an hour. Wow. And then Friday, the big boat parade at 10 o'clock in Burley. And then Friday afternoon, of course, they're going to start testing and have some races Saturday and Sunday, a whole couple of days of racing. Get your tickets now. Go to idahoregatta.org. idahoregatta.org for the world-famous Idaho Regatta coming up this weekend. Absolutely. Then you know what else starts this weekend and goes through all of next week? It's the great big 4th of July schedule of Independence Day fun over in Rupert, with the theme celebrating Independence Day the Rupert way, with the Grand Marshals, Dean and Linda Cameron. Nice folks. Starts this Saturday morning at 6 o'clock. Get up early, set the alarm, Christmas lighting breakfast on the Rupert Square, and then music every day right there in the park, and fireworks, and they're going to have all kinds of fun. Next Monday, the 3rd annual mutton busting competition at the fairgrounds, and then, of course, don't forget on Wednesday, the Firecracker 500 lawnmower races. Oh, that's wild. And then, of course, Thursday, 4th of July, the great big parade at 11. Going to be really good this year again for the great 4th of July schedule of events of fun for the Independence celebration in Rupert. Everybody be there. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Quick reminder that on Mondays we give away a dozen cookies to enjoy from Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street in Rupert. What a bakery, what a restaurant, what a great thing to win, those dozen cookies from Sophie's Chatterbox at 8:30 next Monday morning. Don't you forget it. Be there. Call. Wheels, while I'm waiting to get into my next subject, would you please play a good word for the Silver State Stampede?
Follow the crowd to family entertainment at its best. The 2019 Silver State Stampede roars into Elko July 12, 13, and 14 at the Elko County Fairgrounds. Kicking off this fast-paced weekend is the annual Tri-Tip Dinner on Friday, along with mutton busting, Old West bronc riding, PRCA rodeo action, the always popular Ring of Fear, and new this year, mini bull riding. The fun continues on Saturday and Sunday with more PRCA rodeo action, and you can dance the night away with the music of Moonshine Outlaws. Get your advance tickets today at Roy's, J.M. Capriola Company, IFA, the Boot Barn, and the Elko Chamber of Commerce. Don't forget the best in the West is waiting for you at the Silver State Stampede, July 12, 13, and 14. For more information, visit us at silverstatestampede.com. Head to the Elko County Fairgrounds for the one, the only Silver State Stampede. Rope and ride on the wild side.
I tell you what, it's going to be a great rodeo again this year. Next week, we're going to have some people on talking about it, so don't miss it. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. The Democratic debates start in Miami tonight. Now, here is the lineup of the Democrats that are going to be sitting there at the camera, looking at the camera, telling you all about, the United States is going to heck in a handbasket because of Donald Trump. Oh, they're going to be talking about all the global warming climate crisis, which is absolutely bunk. There's another word I wanted to use, but I couldn't. And then they're going to be talking about some other issues, naturally. They're going to be talking about whether or not they should have the impeachment of Donald Trump. And they're going to be talking about health care. And they're going to have questions on Medicare. And they're going to try to cover all of this with the questions. Now, there's going to be 10 and 10. Now, tonight, they are looking at Elizabeth Warren. She scares me because she is so absolutely stupid. Beto O'Rourke. Now watch the hands. Don't anybody stand close to him because he can't say a word without moving his hands and yelling and screaming. He'll probably get up on the podium and walk around like he did on the lunch counter. Bug-eyed Cory Booker. There's a guy that absolutely just had to scramble to show that he had any support at all. Amy Klobuchar. And Washington Governor Jay Inslee, which is like an ice cube in a stove, absolutely has no chance. Former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro, there's another one that's going to go out the back door. Hawaii Representative Tulsi Gabbard. Now, right there, I'm going to draw the line a little bit and say that she may have an opportunity to advance. She's not dumb. She's not stupid. And she's very intellectually qualified. And she's very articulate. We'll see what happens. Here's one that's going to go by the wayside like a piece of paper from a hamburger. This is New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Out of here, gone after tonight. Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan, nothing more than a flamethrower without much substance. And another guy that he's not stupid, but he just doesn't have the support, Maryland Congressman John Delaney. That's who's on the docket tonight. And how in the world Elizabeth Warren can get center podium is unbelievable. But that's what goes tonight. Then tomorrow night, oh, brother, it gets worse. Joe Biden and then Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. I really am looking forward to seeing wild-haired Bernie. California Senator Kamala Harris. Hold on, caller, I'm a-coming. And then a guy that already this week has shot himself in the foot 3 times, South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg. That guy's got to go. Absolutely. Kirsten Gillibrand, no support, no common sense. Colorado Senator Michael Bennet, gone. Former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper, out the back door. California Congressman Eric Swalwell, just nothing more than a Democratic figurehead that hates Trump. Entrepreneur, I should say, Andrew Yang, smart guy, but he won't get any support. And, of course, author Marianne Williamson. Nobody knows her, nobody cares. She also exits stage left. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning again. You know, how can you have a fair fight here when the people asking the questions are all going to be softball questions because they're all from NBC or MSNBC? They're going to be soft and lovely to each other tonight. You wait and see.
Oh, I tell you what, I think you're 100% right. NBC News host Lester Holt is going to be basically running the show. Then they're going to have Chuck Todd from NBC Meet the Press, and they're going to have, here's one that's a real loser, Rachel Maddow. And then they're going to have Telemundo host Jose Diaz-Balart and Today co-anchor Savannah Guthrie. I mean, you talk about liberal sleaze, it's going to be prominent tonight.
Well, they say come in under the big tent. That's exactly what they're doing because tonight is going to be a circus.
Amen, brother. And like somebody else said before me early this morning, it's going to be interesting to watch them unload the clown car.
That's a good one.
All right, my friend. Thank you.
It's not going to be a pleasant experience, but I'm anxious to watch it to see how dumb these people can be.
Well, I want to hear some of their answers to various questions, even if they may be mostly softball questions, because I think people are going to see a lot of people go, oops, and out the back door. Keith, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks.
I want to find out the ones that are the best at spending our money and where are they going to get more.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you very much. I want to talk about something locally here in just a minute, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the issue, but I think it bears mentioning because I'm doing some more research on it. Stand by. I'll be with you in a moment, caller. I want to say a big shout-out to some of the merchants that are helping really promote the great big Independence Day, 4th of July celebration over in Rupert. They include Magic Valley Carpet at 613 D Street. Oh, my goodness, they have all of your flooring needs, carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, all of it. Nice people to work with at Magic Valley Carpet in Rupert, 436-1722. Haskin Insurance Services, nice folks, 629 Fremont Street in Rupert, 436-4150. 841, and they say give them a call when you're in the market for most any of the insurance services Haskin Insurance Service can offer you, your partner in insurance protection. Haskin Insurance Service. And Snyder Surplus at 116 South, 200 west of Rupert. Oh boy, they've got everything over there. You just got to go in and browse around. I mean, they've got everything from paracord and rope to ammo cans to desks and chairs and wall lockers. It's all there. Always has been at Snyder Surplus, 116 South, 200 west of Rupert. All of them want you to get over and enjoy the great big fun and festivities at the Rupert 4th of July Independence Day celebration. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. Am I breaking up, or is you're breaking up in my phone?
No, I'm sorry if I'm breaking up. Wheels, am I breaking up on the air, or is it just his phone?
No, it must just be the phone, but...
All right. Go ahead, Doug. Thanks.
Hey, I want to ask a question out there, and probably ought to do a pool on this, on how many times they're going to mention the word free.
Yeah.
If you were in college and want to have a drinking game and be out in about the first 15 minutes, just do the drinking game on the word free.
You know, it's a really good point because Elizabeth Warren came out with, of course, her no borders and decriminalize everybody that's an illegal alien. I can't wait to hear your remarks about that. But basically, she said people are free to move and go anywhere they want to and free to stay anywhere they want to. So I put the question to you, Doug, my dear friend, why in the world should we be dumb enough to pay our taxes?
Well, yeah, then why not just open the doors on the prisons?
Yeah, let them go.
Crime.
Let them go.
Let them be free to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the Democrats are talking about.
What?
They do not want rule of law in the United States.
What does it tell you as a member of our American society to think that people like Elizabeth Warren have supporters and they're gaining traction with various segments of our society? That's scary, my friend.
It is. It is. It's very, very scary. But the Democrats do not have a platform or policies to stand on, so the only way they can get votes is with the uninformed people and the people that they keep saying are depressed and held down by giving free. The only way they can get a vote.
You know, I really appreciate your comment, Doug, because the word free, I think, will be the most used word in these debates, especially maybe not tonight, but tomorrow night when you've got Bernie Sanders on the stage at his podium, because I guarantee you he can't say a complete structured sentence without using that word free.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So I appreciate your show, Zeb. I appreciate everything you do. You're a great patriot. I am very proud to call you my friend, and I'll stand beside you anytime, toe-to-toe with anybody.
I appreciate it. Doug, you're A1 in my book. Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
All right. Now, everybody, let's do what we can for our senior centers. I've done built Zeb up. Now let's build the senior centers up. Let's take care of them, support them. Let's help these people that forged this country to make it the country it is today. Let's help take care of them.
Amen. Amen, my dear friend. Thank you. We're going to talk about another story that absolutely, it's filthy. It's filthy that it happened. And I'm going to talk about it in just a minute. Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts. Hello, Barry Equipment and Rental. You know, Deanne lines up their interviews with me at times during the course of the month or a couple of months. And I just look forward to these people. They are so progressive with helping you with all the lifting and the digging and the pushing and the carrying. And whether you need the Doosan wheel loaders or the big excavators or the Bobcats, all the skid steers, mini excavators, it's all there at Barry Equipment and Rental. They know, they care, they've got the best of sales, service, rental, and parts. You stop in 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and the Nampa location, let me tell you, they can help you with the equipment you need. Barry Equipment and Rental. Absolutely. Also, real quick, I want to remind you that the Bennett Boys are going to have another big auction. Oh, it's coming up this Saturday, the Bennett Boys Auction Service. And let me get my papers over here so I can tell you all about it. And stumble. What did I do to it? It's Colleen Reeves Living Estate Auction. It's going to be at 11 o'clock on Saturday, this coming Saturday, June 29th, in Twin Falls. From the Curry Crossing, go south 2 miles, then east on Debbie Lane, 2515 East, 3820 North. Lunch by the Cook Shack, and they're going to have all kinds of really neat furniture, oak pedestal kitchen tables with leaves and oak china hutch, and they're going to have a lot of really unique household items and antiques, Norman Rockwell original pictures, shop items, all of this and more by a sale managed by Bennett Boys Auction Service. Absolutely. The Colleen Reeves Living Estate Auction this coming Saturday, June 29th. And, of course, managed by Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. Last night, or in the last couple of days, I guess, this happened on Tuesday night. Yeah, it was last night. Eric Trump was eating at a restaurant, a very upscale restaurant called the Aviary in Chicago. And a waitress walked up to Eric Trump while he is dining and spit on him. You know, this story, it makes me so mad and so upset that we have lost respect for each other. I absolutely despised Barack Obama and his administration. I thought it was a administration of absolute inept clowns that were nothing more than left-wing loon liberals. But at no point, at no time, would I have ever advocated some of the filth and sleaze that is going on against the Trump family and the Trump administration. Now, to walk up and say vile things and spit on someone while they're enjoying their dinner or being out, that is absolutely as low as it gets. Eric Trump said it was purely a disgusting act by someone who clearly has emotional problems. And then he said about the Democratic Party, for a party that preaches tolerance, this once again demonstrates they have very little civility. I couldn't agree more. How do you walk up to somebody that you disagree with and, as a show of disgust, spit on them? I mean, what about having a great debate or discourse about the various issues, but to go up and spit on someone, you have lowered yourself lower than a snake's belly. And when somebody is sick enough to resort to spitting on someone, it just emphasizes a sickness and desperation and the fact that the Republicans and the Trump administration and Trump family are winning. I'm paraphrasing what he said. I mean, last year, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders was kicked out of the Red Hen in Virginia for her affiliation with the Trump administration. She didn't do anything. She was just there enjoying the food. And former Homeland Security Kristen Nielsen was chased out of a Mexican restaurant in D.C., and people followed her out the door calling her a fascist pig. My question to you, the audience, is how could anybody right now today, looking at what is running for the Democratic nod for the nomination of president, how can you advocate and back this kind of absolute filthy human response? Spitting on someone. My grandmother used to say it best. Ay, 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 ay. Right now, let's talk about our weather. And the weather is brought to you this hour by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. They're right behind the Minidoka Hospital across from the emergency room, and they're waiting to serve you. All you have to do to check your hearing health and have a hearing screening is call 312, look at the numbers, 312-0957. 312-0957. And I urge you to do this. If you've noticed a diminishment in your hearing, they can help, they will help. Dr. Pickup, Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Hunsaker at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast as we hit midweek stride, making our way towards the weekend. And today's going to be a nice day, looking at partly sunny skies. Expecting a high of 81 tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 53 tomorrow. Another nice one. Mostly sunny skies, slightly breezy, high of 78. Looks like clouds are going to be rolling in for tomorrow night with a low of 51. Looks like mostly cloudy for Friday, only a high of 75. And then as we kick off the Rupert 4th of July celebrations on Saturday, mostly sunny skies and 80. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb.
I'll take 3 of those. Thank you very much, Gina. Appreciate it. And again, our weather brought to you this hour by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And the number I urge you to call. They help me. They can help you. 312-0957. How in the world, really, seriously, think about this. You're out to eat in a restaurant, enjoying the personal conversation with whomever you're with, your wife or friends, whatever, and someone, because they disagree with your political affiliation or attitude, walks up during the meal and spits on you. Well, this person was arrested, and I doubt, seriously, if anything much will happen to this person. I hope charges are brought, and whoever this person was learned somewhat of a lesson that you can't act in that kind of an uncivilized manner. But, and had there been any retaliatory type offering from Eric Trump to get up and basically grab the woman, push her away, or had it been a man, just get up and deck the you-know-what, then, of course, the media would have portrayed and changed the story to where Eric Trump would have been the antagonist. Mark my words, that would have happened. How some of these people like Eric Trump and Sarah Sanders and Kirsten Nielsen and others can hold their temper is absolutely beyond belief to me, because being spit on is absolutely disgusting. Calls are welcome, 436-2244. 1-866-927-4587. Once again, for a good laugh tonight, tune in to the start of the Democratic debates. I had a very dear friend comment to me yesterday, and then I had a call regarding a food service that is called, I'm not even going to mention the name this morning until I find out more particulars on this, but it's basically a pickup and delivery service that is here in the Magic Valley, and there have been some complaints about the way it's handled. There have been some complaints about perhaps how and why they've selected certain restaurants and are posting their menus on their websites and how their business is being run. One of the callers is from one of our sponsors, and you notice I'm being a little vague on this morning until I get all the facts and particulars. But, there's been a problem with some of the deliveries, and then the restaurant gets blamed, or there's been a problem with the way the food's been ordered and the restaurant gets blamed. And I'm going to do some follow-up on this over the next day or so and have a kind of a completion on this story in the next couple of days. I just want to bring you folks and alert you that there is a food delivery service that has not contacted all the restaurants and asked if they could use their menus on their online service, and we're going to find out exactly what's going on. Okay? I told this person yesterday that I was going to do some research into it. I have had some of the people not call me back, and I'll find out more as we go along. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Yesterday, we started on this program a brand spanking new advertiser. And I just tell you what, it sounds to me like it's like home, honestly. And I'm talking about our friends at the Greystone Crossing. This is really nice. Caller, stand by. Greystone Crossing, independent senior living, and it feels like home. They want it to be just like home, where the residents would feel like they're a big part of a family unit. It's a 12-bedroom home, Greystone Crossing, independent senior living on Alfresco Road, and of course that's 21st Street for most people, just 1 mile east of Walmart, and 3 meals a day plus snacks and housekeeping and local transportation, everything. Just a very valuable feature is that it's community. People living together as friends and just really enjoying all the amenities and the great folks at Greystone Crossing. I urge you to give them a call at 650-4979. That number again, call Kelly at 650-4979. Greystone Crossing. Sounds really nice. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again, sir. Hey, I just got a phone call, and I got a favor to ask of everybody out there. The Minidoka Senior Center is having a food booth on the square for the 4th of July celebration, and they're looking for volunteers to help do some shifts there to help the senior centers.
Okay.
So if they could call Penny at the Minidoka Senior Center at 436-9107. would be greatly appreciated.
Volunteers
to help man a food booth. They're selling ribs, and they'll probably give you a couple ribs, maybe a meal if you volunteer.
All right. Listen, I'm telling you what, it sounds good to me. Doug, I'm glad you called back. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, thanks for letting me do that.
All right, Doug. Thank you much. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Zeb. I was just listening to your part about the respect with the Trump family, and I'm a school teacher, and I just wanted to say that our country just has no respect anywhere. Our schools, even in Idaho, the respect that our kids show to teachers and the things that they're getting away with is just terrible. This spring I had a kid walk up to me and right to my face told me, "You suck." His dad was there. The principal heard about it. Not one thing happened to this kid.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a lack of disrespect being taught, being tolerated throughout our whole country.
Okay, let me ask you some quick questions before I run out of time. Where did all this start? Where does it stem from? Does it stem from my generation, the next generation after me or so, that are basically letting their kids be free-range kids and do and say and act in any manner they want? What's going on here? Where did this all start?
Well, everybody's afraid that to discipline a kid anymore. You know, when I talk to my school administrator about this situation and stuff like that, the answer to it was, well, if he comes and apologizes, then everything's okay.
Oh, brother.
And it was like, so the kid came in to apologize, and his apology was, I didn't say what you said, what you're saying I said. And I was supposed to accept that as an apology. And I kind of was held the one in the wrong because I didn't accept this kid's apology of saying, I didn't say what you said, I said. And I'm like, I don't know. It's this whole lack of, number one, our hands in the schools are tied. There's not a lot we can do.
I agree.
With kids, you know.
I agree.
My generation, if I had said that to a teacher, I'd have been in the principal's office and had some good swats.
Yeah, but in my generation, let me interrupt you there, ma'am. Let me interrupt you right there. In my generation, and I'm older than you, my dear, dear, beloved teacher, Mrs. Kiltz, in my elementary school years would have taken that ruler, and I'll guarantee you my knuckles wouldn't have been able to bend for a week. And then a note going home that had to be signed by my dad, an ex-boxer. I had to go home and tell him what I did, and I'll guarantee you you, my life would have ended as I knew it. That's why we've lost the fear of God in this country to the point where punishment, oh, well, let little Johnny do and say what he wants to. I feel sorry for you as teachers that you have to take the filth and the garbage and the disrespect that's handed to you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But, when I was a kid growing up, my parents always told me, if you get in trouble at school, if you get one swat at school, it's two at home.
Oh, boy, yeah.
If I got caught chewing gum one day in school and had to write a dictionary page, well, guess what I had to do at home? I had to write 2 dictionary pages, And it's like you said, I didn't want the wrath of my parents coming down on me, so I behaved. But this kid's dad was attending the event and didn't say a word to the kid.
Oh, my goodness. That's shameful, disgusting, and a complete lack of being a responsible parent. I wish you'd have called me a little bit earlier. I'm out of time, but I would love to have you call me back on another segment so we can talk more about a lack of respect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I sure enjoyed listening to your show.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Nice lady. I want to do a segment on that. I want her to call me back and others to talk about a total disrespect of people, not only here but across the nation. Whew, gotta go. Les Schwab, absolutely, I have not forgot you. Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations. They've got all the tires you need for safe driving, to go see Aunt Martha and Uncle Fred, and absolutely you need to stop in for your car, your pickup, your SUV, your camp trailer, horse trailer, boat trailer, whatever. They've got all the tires, all the tread designs, all the sizes, and many of which are on sale right now. Save you money. I'm telling you, stop. Oh, the best in brakes, service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, everything, batteries, right there at all 7 locations. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. Yep, the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I'm late, got to run to the news, be back in 7. Good morning. Welcome back. Hour number 2, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell. And, of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, serving you with the best of tires for your safe driving. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers, like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, Old Wheels is going to hit the button that says Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal.
Oh, the porta potties. Let's talk about the porta potties. A lot of people don't like to talk about porta potties, but we talk about the porta potties from Western Waste Services for your family reunion, your company picnic. I mean, if you've ordered everything else, all the chairs and the tables and the food and the napkins and the plates, forgot the porta potties, you better call them today. 734-6969, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, really, really great folks. By the way, too, I want to remind you about my buddy. I know he's listening this morning at 1827 Overland Avenue in Burley, and that's Anthony. This is a good guy, and he's got a company called Save on Shells. If you're looking for a camper shell for your pickup, I'm telling you, looking for a certain style or color or whatever, he's got them all. He's got them all over. That's what. And he's located at 1827 Overland in Burley. Great service, great guy, and you'll save money and you'll get the best at Save on Shells, 1827 Overland in Burley. Give him a call. He'll be there when you need him. 312-1525. Save on Shells. I want to remind you also about coming up on Mondays. We have a certain segment called Vicky's Country Gardens, Green Thumbs, Dirty Knees, and Gardening with Vicky's Country Garden. Don't forget that at 10:30 on Monday, right here on Zeb at the Ranch. Before we go to our guest, I also want to acknowledge our dear friends at Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward, his family, and his staff, serving you and your family with the best possible support and comfort when there's the passing of a loved one. And they always treat their folks, their families, with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Please call them, and they can and will help you. 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary in Rupert. And Joel Heward also serving you and your family at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Let's go to the phone line right now, and this gentleman has not been on my program in the past, and I'm looking forward to having him on the show this morning. We say good morning to political analyst and author of the book called The Resurrection of America, Trump and the Resurrection of America, John Michael Chambers. John, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Nice to be with you.
Well, John, where are you at right now? What part of the United States are you sitting comfortably talking to me on the phone?
I'm sitting comfortably in 97 degrees in Tampa, Florida.
That's not comfortable, John.
Not really, but thank goodness we have air conditioning here.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I've been to Florida many, many, many times in my other business, my rodeo business, announcing rodeos, and I've been all over Florida. And you folks are a certain kind of tough down there in Florida that can absorb the sunshine and the humidity and still smile.
Florida is an interesting place. I've been in Florida on and off for 30 years. I have a sort of love-hate relationship with Florida, I don't mind saying, but I travel quite a bit, so I'm not necessarily in the day-to-day grind down here, so I like it. It works for me.
All right, John. Listen, tell me a little bit about your book, because the title really hit me when I read it, Trump and the Resurrection of America. Give us a little background about that book.
Ooh, you bet. Starts with the escalator event back in 2015, I believe. I was over in Asia, in Thailand at the time. Wrote a small book on that, a digital ebook called What One Man Can Do, analyzing the Trump phenomenon. Long story short, I came back to the United States, was in Ohio, and I sat down and a couple of short months wrote the book, Trump and the Resurrection of America. And basically the book addresses the battles. You know, this is America's second revolution. It's fortunately not being fought out on the streets with guns, although they'd like that to happen. But the book really reveals quite a bit about who the deep state is, how they work, the Federal Reserve, all the various battles that we're facing, the Islamization of America, all of the political correctness, all the various issues that are front and center today, trending in the news. And the book is clearly supportive of President Trump, and it's been fairly well received. I covered 8 states on a book signing tour, and now I'm focusing primarily on my home state of Florida. And but it's an exciting time to be alive. It's a great time to be an American, as Trump is now taking on the deep state, as the D-class is just getting underway. So it's a dangerous time, but very exciting, and we're winning the battle as far as I can see.
John, I'm so glad to have you on this program, because we're kind of brothers linked in arms here with this concept and thinking. But let me take you back to 2015, before Trump even really came down the escalator. Your thoughts as a political analyst when you first learned that he may run for president. Now, be very honest and poignant here. Did you give him a snowball's chance in the oven?
Okay, great question. I've been asked a lot of questions. That's the first, and I'm real happy to address that. You know, in 2015, prior to the escalator event, so in other words, we hadn't known that Trump was going to throw his hat in the ring, I had written a book called Misconceptions and Course Corrections. I had taken almost 5 years off. I was traveling and living in Asia. And in that book, prior to the escalator event, I stated in there that the most unlikely person in our hour of need will arrive and provide the desperate leadership that America and, quite frankly, the world needed and required. And so there I was at this particular time in Thailand, and I'm going, Donald Trump, down the escalator. I said, well, there's the most unlikely person. So that was my first gut. Now, I'm from New York, as you can probably detect, and I was born and raised in Queens like Donald Trump. I was raised on Long Island, but born in Queens. So we felt a sense of bonding and understanding of Trump all those years in New York. And so, no, I did not buy into Trump right out of the gate. And I mentioned that in the book. I was questioning, and maybe Trump was trying to expand his global brand. He had the money to buy his way into the ballot and all that. But didn't take me too long. I followed every speech on YouTube from Thailand, and he was speaking the language. He clearly was becoming the voice of the battered down patriot in America. And once I saw it, I was in. So I would say short answer, it took me a couple of short months, and then I threw my support completely behind President Trump. I consider him to date certainly the greatest president in my lifetime. I'm 61, and perhaps among the very best that this country has ever had.
John, I'm older than you are by a decade, and that has nothing to do with our conversation, but you and I both have seen many administrations in our lifetime, many of which were not very good. Many didn't accomplish anything, but it was a lot of upfront showing. The Trump administration, in my opinion, and please correct me if you think I'm wrong, they don't care about the glitz and the glitter. They care about the bottom line. He's a businessman. He's offended a lot of people with his brash New Yorker style, but quite frankly, I support the man because he gets things done. That being said, looking ahead to 2020, can he, by the liberal media and the Democrats trying to find every dirty rock unturned and turn it over and try to smear him, can he be reelected in 2020?
I'm afraid to voice this opinion because I want your listeners to get out there and vote and get all these Republicans that aren't registered to vote. But I will say this. It'll be barring they don't rig it and steal it through electronic fractionalizing of vote counts, which I wrote about in the book. Barring that, it's an absolute historical landslide for President Trump in 2020. And you're right about the businessman approach. There's a great website, promiseskept.com. It's an official Donald Trump Washington, D.C. website that reports all the incredible things he's accomplished since the fake news won't report it. And it's broken down by category, and each week all the things he's accomplishing through laws, executive orders, and just general things are all posted up on there. But what Trump is doing is he's taking on the ruling elite, the deep state, the shadow government, New World Order, whatever you'd like to call it, this corrupt, dying system that has really put us in a post-constitutional government to a large extent over recent years. And what Trump is doing is he's unrigging the rigged system and exposing what's happening.
Absolutely.
And, it's dangerous, but this is just what the doctor ordered.
Absolutely. John, when you hear the moo of a cow on my program, it means that we have a caller calling in. And caller, you're on the air. Quickly with your question, please.
Well, you're right. He just what the doctor ordered. If we had elected Hillary Clinton, the stranglehold on our economy, the taxation, the regulation would have been increased. We wouldn't have 2 Supreme Court justices. And maybe when Ginsburg drifts off into the sunset, we'll get another. And you say to yourself, how is it that people don't recognize and realize how good things are for everyone? Even illegal aliens do better when people have a vibrant economy. And they're blacks, Hispanics, everybody. And you say to yourself, how is it they say that Florida is in the crosshairs and that it could go either way? And I say to myself, I don't know how any state, other than the insanity of New York and California, could vote for a Democrat. You say, what are you people thinking about? I'll hang up.
Respond to the caller, if you would, please, John.
Well, it raised a few points. I completely agree with his analysis in terms of Trump's accomplishments in the economic sector. I don't need to repeat what he said, and there are plenty more statistics
to support the greatest economy this country's ever had, perhaps. But to the latter point of McCullough is a good discussion to have, and that is, how in the world can now let's differentiate from left-wing complete lunatics, socialist communists. Let's separate them from just traditional Democrats, our Democrat neighbors and friends. He's right. How in the world can they vote for infanticide, the insanity of the new Green Deal, and the socialist communist platform from a cast of 20 characters? It is beyond comprehension. But you know what I would assert? And some people call me the Santa Claus of politics. Recently, Dr. Alan Keyes, I did some television interviews with him. What a great man. And he said, Jane John, you're like the Santa Claus of politics. You seem to find some good news in all this. Well, here's the good news. The good news is these Democrats, not the left-wing lunatics, but the Democrats, they're going to be voting for Trump, a lot of them. Now, albeit they may be in the closet, not tell anyone about it, but they don't want to kill newborn children. They want a thriving economy, and people often vote with their pocketbooks. And they may not like Trump, and they may not want to expose their support for Trump, but I would say you're going to have droves of Democrats voting for Trump. And to the gentleman's point about the black community, according to statistics that I've come across, and even Candace Owens has reported this before congressional hearings, Trump's support as a candidate from the black community was only 18%. Today, 36 to 39%. You get into the mid-40% range, and the Democrats can't win. So we're winning, my friend. We're winning.
John, let me ask you this. And first of all, it's a statement, then I'll turn it into a question. But tonight, the clown car... Pardon me? Tonight, the clown car pulls into Miami, and the first segment of the Democratic nominees are going to run up...
I don't hear anything. I'm not sure if I'm on the air.
Wheels, I don't know what's happened over there, but turn up the volume in our guest's ear, please. John, can you hear me now? Wheels, what's going on? There's been a change. I don't know why he's not hearing us.
I hear you now.
All right, thank you. Wheels, you've got to watch that switch, please. John, tonight the clown car is going to pull into Miami, and the first segment of the Democratic nominees are going to find their podiums with their names on them. They're going to try to answer questions and make a implorement to the American public that they vote for them. And tomorrow night, the balance of the Democrats. What are your thoughts about the 20-plus Democrats that are running for president, and what kind of a format and what kind of a real projection do they create to the American public? I mean, what are you seeing and hearing about who's going to step forward?
It's a mystery sandwich at this point. First off, a couple of quick comments. One, there isn't anybody in this platform that has a record that even comes close as citizens in comparison to Trump as a citizen, or as elected officials in comparison to President Trump's accomplishments. So just a matter of facts and accomplishments in the real world, no one comes close to President Trump. But in terms of who they're going to put up there, look, it's going to be exciting to watch them eat each other up, if you will. I think they're going to gang up on Biden. Biden's unelectable anyway. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I could be completely off the mark on this, but I have a feeling this is all a test ground for a lot of different reasons, and their front runner may not even be on that platform just yet. They may bring someone out if their attempt at bringing this country into socialism fails. But there's some sordid backgrounds with some of these characters up there, and to me it's entertainment. Get the popcorn, enjoy the show. No matter who they place before President Trump, Trump's going to have a field day with whoever it is.
You know, John, you mentioned something earlier, and I want to go back to that a little bit because you're very well versed in what's going on politically. I can tell that, and I'm really anxious to read your book. But you mentioned the deep state, and we hear that terminology almost every day in the news. We hear it on various broadcasts. We hear it on various talk shows, etc., the deep state. But I wonder if the American public really understands how sinister the power, the evil, and the money of the deep state of politics is today, and how much control they have. Would you care to elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. That is the most important subject of our time. And so On my website, johnmichaelchambers.com, I've written over 400 articles surrounding that very topic, and from the escalator event till last week's article on Sunday. And so there's a lot of information there. But look, and I talk about it in the book, the shadow government, the deep state, the ruling elite, the tyrannical police state that they are trying to well, they were very successful at orchestrating, and your caller was right. If Hillary had gotten elected, shows like this probably couldn't be aired. I may be in a FEMA camp. But, you know, for those that think I'm conspiracy theorist, all they have to do is go to YouTube, plug in George Herbert Walker Bush New World Order speech. Back when he was president, he spoke about the New World Order and the greatness of the founding fathers of the United Nations, you know, not the law of the jungle as we have it today. We'll have this New World Order. Well, the New World Order is morphed into the deep state. Even JFK, back then, he said this, I'm paraphrasing, he said, before I leave this high noble office, I intend to expose the secret societies and the dangers they impose upon the people. Well, those secret societies have morphed into the deep state, of which I write quite a bit about. And here's the biggest news story that did make the news. On May 23rd of this year, President Trump was allocating billions to the agriculture, the farmers, as you may remember, and you heard a voice, it was a live briefing, from a media person. You didn't see him, but you heard the voice, and he said, Mr. President, you stated, he said, Mr. President, the Constitution states that the punishment for treason is execution. You, sir, have accused your adversaries of treason. Would you name them? Now, he thought he would sandbag Trump and you would get the soundbite of the century. Trump doubled down and in one instant second named McCabe, Comey, Stroke, and a few others. The president went on to say, and people much higher up than that, and he said that twice, and then he invoked Hillary Clinton and the dirty dossier funding and all of that stuff, as well as the breaching of the emails. Well, that's the biggest news story when we're talking about treason, execution of elected officials and people in the Department of Justice. The deep state is panicking, the deep state is on the run, and the shenanigans we're about to see on July 17th with Mueller coming out is just another ploy on the behalf of Nadler, Schiff, Pelosi, and the rest of them. Those that have yelled the loudest, scream the loudest, have the most to hide. It's going to backfire on them, mark my words.
John, one final thought. I've only got 2 minutes left in this segment, so make your answer very short, please. But my question to you would be, how in the world is this going to create anything good for the Democrats, having Mueller go and testify at that Senate hearing? Because he can't, in my opinion, say anything different than what the report said, because if he does, he'd either be lying or elaborating on something that he doesn't know or understand. I mean, he's kind of put in a catch-22 situation, is he not?
He's in an awfully difficult predicament, but he's very sharp. But look, Mueller's up to his eyeballs in the mud, too, and this will come out later as the D-Class Inspector General report, FISA, NSA files, WikiLeaks, etc. come out. I can't wait to watch this. I think it will backfire. The Dems are looking for, it's just a diversionary distraction to try and desperately find something to pin on Trump. Nothing sticks because it's all BS. BS also stands for Bernie Sanders, by the way. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fascinating hearing to watch. I think the Republicans get a grand slam out of it. It's another fatal mistake by the Democrats.
Real quick, where can everybody in my audience find your book entitled Trump and the Resurrection of America?
Well, thank you, sir. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Apple in all formats, hardback, softback, digital, Kindle. And you can go to my website, johnmichaelchambers.com, read a little bit about it, and you can order it through that website as well.
I certainly hope that you'll consent to coming back on my program, John. I found it very interesting. You're a good guy, and I'd love to have you back.
Well, thank you, sir. I'd love to be back and keep doing the great work you're doing. We need voices like yours out there.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. John is a great guest that we're going to invite back. John Michael Chambers, a political analyst, and that book is entitled Trump and the Resurrection of America. Looking forward to it. Great guy. We got to pay some bills. Okay, let's go with something that's going to be starting tomorrow. You know what it is? It's the world-famous Idaho Regatta. Yeah, buddy. It starts tomorrow, Thursday, at the Rupert Square with the show and shine with all the boats right there. You can ask questions. You can see the boats. Some of these boats go up to 140 miles an hour. Whoa, Lewis told me that. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, and that's going to take place tomorrow. Friday, of course, the boat parade in Burley. Friday, they're going to start some of the testing and the tuning and some of the races. Saturday and Sunday days just complete with racing right there at the Burley Golf Course Marina. You do not want to miss a world-class event. Get your tickets now. You can go to idahoregatta.org or buy them right there at the gate, but don't miss it. Don't miss it. It's going to be something to remember for a long time. The Idaho Regatta for 2019. You be there. Wow. Let's see what else have we got cooking here real quick. I want to remind you, too, about some of the great Rupert 4th of July activities that are going to be going on starting on this Saturday. Now, I want you to get down. Everybody set the alarm clock and get there early in the morning on this Saturday for the Christmas lighting breakfast on the Rupert Square, starting things off for the great big schedule of events for the 4th of July Independence Day celebration in Rupert. And the theme this year, celebrating Independence Day the Rupert way. And leading the parade, the Grand Marshal this year, two of them, Dean and Linda Cameron. What nice people. You know, they're going to have so much going on for you and your family to enjoy in one of the most picturesque settings in America, that Rupert Square. Oh, my goodness. They're going to have patriotic programs, and they're going to have a lot of great food booths. And then out at the fairgrounds, they're going to have mutton busting on the Monday, July 1st. And then on Wednesday, the famous, world-famous Firecracker 500 lawnmower races. Thursday, the 4th of July parade at 11 o'clock. Oh, put it on your calendar and get on over to Rupert for the 4th of July Independence Day celebration for 2019. Going to be fantastic. Wow, in just a few minutes, we're going to be talking to Alan Johnson, and he is going to be coming on our program talking about the Rupert 4th of July. But first and foremost, I want to visit with you for a couple of moments with some other great sponsors of our program and advertisers, and one of which, Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Hello, Jeff Bronson and the rest of the crew over there. All I can say is that this has been a store that served you for a long, long time with the best of deals, the best of prices, and the best of products, whether we're talking about furniture, whether we're talking about mattresses, whether we're talking about carpet, or all the floor coverings, whatever it is, you stop in and an excellent staff will take care of you at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. And they're having right now a great big summer clearance on mattresses and recliners. Oh, man, I got my recliner there. I've got 3 recliners there, and they are phenomenal. You got to go in and try one on. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. They're waiting right this very minute to serve you. I know some other people that are absolutely waiting right this minute to serve you, and that's the good folks over at Let's Ride. Oh, get your motor running. And they're located at 270 Highway 24 in Rupert, right between Rupert and the world, as a matter of fact. Everybody stops over there, and they've got all the side-by-sides, they've got the four-wheelers, they've got all the watercrafts, and with our weather forecast saying that we're going to be knocking on the door of 90 degrees, get those watercraft, hit the lakes and the rivers, you're going to have a ball. And don't forget, they've got all the accessories, they've got a super service department to keep you running and gunning. I'm telling you what, stop over today. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. Let's Ride, where the fun is sold. Right now, we're going to go back to the phone line on a busy, busy Wednesday, and we're going to be talking to a gentleman that was on our program last year, talking about the Rupert 4th of July festivities for Independence Day. And good morning to Alan Johnson. How are you?
Well, good morning, Zeb. I'm great. How are you this morning?
What's cooking over in Alan Johnson's world? Just sitting back waiting for everything to just unfold, or are you working?
Well, it's a busy time for us getting ready for what is 6 days of celebrating this year in Rupert. And I know there's lots of other celebrations in the valley, but we're kind of different that way. We celebrate for 6 days over here.
Well, let's talk about each day as kind of a separate entity right here, and we may have to take a break for a commercial or two, but actually, this is going to kick off on this Saturday, the 29th. I mean, man alive, what's cooking on Saturday morning?
Well, I guess first of all, I'm going to say that this is a brand new year for downtown Rupert. I don't know when you last driven through, but we've completed 2 years worth of work on the downtown core, and so we're going to be kicking off on Saturday morning in our beautiful renovated city park with the brand new water fountain.
Oh boy!
And that'll get underway. That's always our very first event to kick off the celebration. So it's Saturday morning in the downtown Rupert Park, and it runs from 6 till 10 a.m. and all donated help to put on that breakfast, and it's just a wonderful time to stop by and visit with all your neighbors and friends and have some great food.
You know, Alan, let me ask you a little bit. I got to be honest with you. I have not seen the finished product of the Rupert Square, but of all the towns that I have traveled to all over America, I mean this literally, all over America, I'm very impressed with the personality that evolves right there at the city square in Rupert. That really is something.
Well, that's exactly right. And, this renovation project actually started 12 years ago, and so it's been a long time coming, but thanks to Kelly Anthon at the City of Rupert, the city manager, the city council, they had the courage to, decide that we needed to spruce up our downtown area, and originally it was just going to be a park project, but we got the park done last fall, and then phase 2 involved redoing all the business side of the 4 sides of the square. So there's brand new sidewalks, brand new curbing, beautiful new flower pots that are both on the street and hanging from the street lights, and then a phase 3 that was came into play because of the generous donations of some of the benefactors of the Wilson Theater. And so the street directly in front of the theater received a brand new plaza, which is kind of separate from the park project, but it happened at the same time. So the end result is Rupert has got a brand new face on it, and I'm here to say you probably won't recognize it when you drive through.
Wow, I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to coming over. Listen, let's talk a little bit more about Saturday. Besides having that breakfast, anything else cooking or going to happen on Saturday the 29th this weekend?
Yes. So after the breakfast, our food booths officially open around the square. They'll run for the whole celebration, the 6 days, and so we have a variety of food vendors, both local and professional vendors that are there to sell food every day. And then a big part of our celebration is the fact that we actually have 5 nights of concerts that we put on in the park. These are world-class bands that some are from Salt Lake City, some are from Boise, and the type of concert that you'd normally spend $30 to $40 to go see. And we put these these concerts on free of charge to the public. So you can bring your chairs, come down in the park, grab some food, and those get underway with some local entertainment every night at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And then these featured bands that we bring in, they start at 7:30 and they run right up until 10 o'clock. And on Saturday evening, the first night, we'll have the Dance Doctors, which are a group coming out of Salt Lake City. And immediately following that, we're kind of
kind of different that way in that we start the celebration the very first night with our fireworks show, so we don't collide with some of the other towns. So on Saturday evening at about 10:10, we'll have our big fireworks display, and if you happen to be in the park to listen to some music, you'll just turn your chair towards the Wilson Theater, and our volunteer fire department puts on about a 25-minute show that comes right up over the park. And
oh, my.
It's just amazing.
Holy smokes. I mean, Alan, I shouldn't have kidded you about just sitting there doing nothing, because it sounds like you're running yourself ragged over there trying to get everything ready to go.
Well, we've got a wonderful committee of about 12 people that, we break it up into different, parts, and mine happens to be lining up this music portion, but we have parade chairman, food booth chairman, and all these people work. We meet once a month starting in November, and so it's a long time to put this together, but it's going to be fun. We've got a band on Sunday night called Soul Patch that's coming out of Boise. They're a country rock band. Some friends from Kimberly, Idaho, the Kimberly Road Band on Monday night. Then a 50s and 60s group out of Boise called the Fabulous Chancellors. They'll be in town on Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And our last night of concerts will be Wednesday, July the 3rd, and that's a high-energy country top 40 band out of Salt Lake City called Drive.
Alan, let me ask you this. We got about 5 minutes left in this segment, but I wanted to ask you about some of the specialized events, like on Monday, July 1st, the 3rd annual mutton busting competition at the fairgrounds. Tell us a little bit about that quickly, please.
Well, we always like to keep an event at the fairgrounds, and over time, it just seems like the one that survived. We've tried several different things, but people really enjoy watching those little kids come out of, shoot number 2 on those sheep, and so that'll get underway Monday evening, July the 1st, 6 o'clock out at the fairgrounds, and we always have a full house for that, and the family tickets for 4 people, $15, and individual tickets are $5.
Okay. Now, one of the events that a couple of years ago I threatened that I was going to try to partake in is going to take place on Wednesday night, and that's the world-famous Firecracker 500 lawnmower race. Is Alan Johnson going to be a participant?
Well, I'll probably be over at the square shepherding the music, but Cheryl Coyle, she takes care of the lawnmower races and has some good help from one of the racers themselves, Joe Phillips.
Okay.
And this thing's got a life of its own because when we started it, we were the only lawnmower race kind of going, and now there's actually about 4 races that happen over the next 3 to 4 weeks, and so it's kind of almost become a circuit, and you want to talk about an event that fills up real fast. These lawnmower races are just a huge hit. And so that'll be Wednesday night, July the 3rd, there at the fairgrounds. And those people who are hoping to participate with their souped-up lawnmowers, they need to register at 4:30.
Okay. Now, that event is going to be great, but the culmination, literally, of the 4th of July activities leads us right to Thursday, the 4th of July, with the great big, world-famous 4th of July parade starting at 11 o'clock. Tell us a little bit about who the Grand Marshals are, what the parade route is, that type of thing.
Well, yeah, of course, the parade is the historic thing that's been with us. And, Rupert's been celebrating the 4th of July. If you go to the museum out here at Minidoka, you'll find out we're well over 100 consecutive years now of celebrating the 4th of July. But this year, our parade Grand Marshal is Dean and Linda Cameron, so that's a well-deserved honor. And, of course, the theme for our parade this year is celebrating Independence Day the Rupert way, because we have such a history of celebrating the 4th of July in Rupert. And it's going to be the usual time, which we always start at 11 a.m., and
everything falls into place. We have the flyover from the military planes that come right over the top of the square. Some people asked me why we didn't have them last year. They were just approaching the city last year when there was a call for life flight at the Rupert Hospital, and they had to wave off at the last minute before coming into town. But we try to have that flyover every year, and that signals the start of the parade, and then we actually come around the square and go out by the Rupert Hospital and finish up.
All right. Alan, the 4th of July festivities schedule of events really doesn't end on the 4th of July, because I understand on Sunday, July 7th, you're going to have a whole bunch of screaming and yelling at the horse races.
Well, yeah, we are, and that kind of is a separate group of folks called Rupert Downs that make sure that the horse races come to Rupert once a year, and according to their schedule this year, they were able to secure July the 7th, which is a Sunday, and again on Sunday, July the 14th, and those are also at the Minidoka Fairgrounds, and post time for getting ready for the first races at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we get big crowds in for the horse race.
You know, Alan, you've done an outstanding job telling us all about the great big fun and all the great eating and the entertainment, everything going on for the schedule of events for the 4th of July and celebration of Independence Day. Anything that I've missed, go ahead, take the floor.
Well, no, we just want to invite all the people in the valley to, if you get a chance and don't know what to do in the evening, come over and enjoy our new city park. Have some great food. We've got great music, and it's a wonderful place, wonderful celebration for families and friends to get together and visit. We have a lot of class reunions and family reunions that are going on, and so people always enjoy coming down and celebrating as a community, and we take, I think, great pride in celebrating our country's Independence Day.
Absolutely. Alan, please come back and talk to us again. You did an outstanding job. Thank you so much.
Okay, Zeb, we hope to see you over here, and have a great day and a great 4th of July.
All right. God bless you, my friend. Thank you very much. Nice man, Alan Johnson right there. On behalf of the Rupert 4th of July Committee, thank you very much for being on the air. I really have not seen, I haven't been over there for a little bit of time, that square and the renovation of the square and everything. I've heard from our dear friends George and Donna Mass, it's going to be beautiful, is beautiful, and it should be a lot of fun to be there. So don't miss it, please. It starts this next Saturday. We've got to start something else right now, and it's called the weather forecast. And the sponsorship of our weather is Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Absolutely. Providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. They're the best, they're the most professional, and the most helpful to you, your family, and your business. Please get a hold of them today with offices in Burley and Rupert for the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, bookkeeping services, retirement planning, all of this and so much more. Please call or stop in. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Again, offices in Burley and Rupert. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast as we hit midweek stride, making our way towards the weekend. And today's going to be a nice day, looking at partly sunny skies. Expecting a high of 81 tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 53. Tomorrow, another nice one. Mostly sunny skies, slightly breezy, high of 78. Looks like clouds are going to be rolling in for tomorrow night with a low of 51. Looks like mostly cloudy for Friday, only a high of 75. And then as we kick off the Rupert 4th of July celebrations on Saturday, mostly sunny skies and 80. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zebedee.
I love that forecast. Thank you, Gina. Brought to you by some really good friends of ours, and they should be good friends of yours, too. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. They want to wish and extend to you a great 4th of July and celebration of our Independence Day, and they urge you to get a hold of them as soon as possible to let them help you with the very best of accounting services. Over 50 years of helping and serving you, your family, and your business. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Wheels, old buddy, old friend, could we please hear this good word for the Silver State Stampede?
Nevada's oldest rodeo, the Silver State Stampede, roars into the Elko County Fairgrounds July 12, 13, and 14. This PRCA-sanctioned rodeo brings you the thrill of pro rodeo riders going head-to-head in one of the world's toughest sports, rodeo. Action kicks off on Friday with a delicious tri-tip dinner for just $10. Old West bronc riding, the Calcutta, mutton busting, PRCA rodeo action, and the always popular Ring of Fear. Dance the night away to the music of the Moonshine Outlaws. And on Saturday, show your support with Tough Enough to Wear Pink. And on Sunday, round up the gang for the Family Day at the fairgrounds for even more rodeo action. Get your advance tickets today at Roy's, the J.M. Capriola Company, IFA, the Boot Barn, and the Elko Chamber Office. The best family entertainment this side of the Rio Grande, the Silver State Stampede. For more information, visit them at silverstatestampede.com.
All right, great event down there in Elko, Nevada. Don't miss it, please. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Got a little time here. I'd love to hear from you, so give us a jingle on the landline, and we'll help wrap up this hour. And while I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in, we also want to thank some of the Rupert merchants for their help and helping promote the great 4th of July festivities over in Rupert, like Senator Kelly Anthon. What a great guy. I really enjoy Kelly. And, of course, he urges everybody to celebrate the 4th of July Independence Day with all the food and the festivities and the fireworks and the lawnmower races, everything. Come on over to Rupert, thanks to our dear friend, Senator Kelly Anthon. Along with Dixon Oil Company at 602 South 2nd in Rupert, they've been in business since way back in 1951. A great service station, gas, oil, and propane for heating. Daryl and the crew at Dixon Oil always wishing you a safe, sane Independence Day on the 4th of July. And, of course, don't forget Haruza Insurance. Hello, David and the crew over there at Haruza Insurance, 723 South 3rd Street in Rupert, and they urge you to give them a call and get a quote on your commercial and business, auto, home, life, and health insurance today with David Haruza and the staff at Haruza Insurance in Rupert. All of them wishing you a great 4th of July Independence Day celebration. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Zeb. I'm calling you back to thank you for putting the information about the square on your radio station. I really appreciate it. It helps me to figure out how I'm going to work my schedule to fit my stuff in I have to do there.
Okay.
And it's always a wonderful, wonderful celebration there. The people are so wonderful, and everybody that comes seems to be very patriotic. It's just a wonderful way to spend a week.
You know, Jerry,
6 days.
It would appear to me, Jerry, that if you want to see somebody that you haven't seen for a long time, all you got to do is just take a lawn chair and sit in the square and they'll show up.
Well, I usually work the scone booth and I do other things there. I don't just go set. But I do appreciate the music. It's wonderful. I do see a lot of people I haven't seen, some of them since the 60s. I've had people that have moved to South Africa and California and different places come and meet me at the square. They know where I'm at because I've been there for so many years. I do the same thing every year. I'm not as strong as I used to be, so I can't stay and work as long. But I've always enjoyed my week over the 4th of July at that square in Rupert.
All right, Jerry.
Celebration from the lights, the fireworks, to the very end. It's just great all the way.
Absolutely.
It's very, very patriotic and just wonderful.
Absolutely. Jerry, I thank you for calling back, and I know that you just invited all your friends and neighbors, everybody to go over to Rupert for their 4th of July Independence Day celebration. Thank you for calling back. Thank you.
I'm even inviting people from out of the area to come to that. It'll be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. that is just wonderful to see.
All right, my friend. God bless you. Thank you for your call. Appreciate it. No, he's gone. Thank you. Jerry leads the charge of a lot of people that are just absolutely in love with their hometown, and I respect that. Thank you so much. Also, over in that same neck of the woods, if you will, right there on Highway 24, don't forget Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Right there on the curve, kind of going into Rupert, there they are. You can see the sign, Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more with the folks that are really dedicated and responsive to your needs. We're talking about Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Now, it's easy for you to make an appointment. All you have to do is call 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424, Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Tomorrow is a big day. What is tomorrow and why is tomorrow going to be a big day? Well, because it's Lunch Bunch Day. My goodness, we're going to be over at Denny's restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley for Zeb's Lunch Bunch. Every month we go over there and we have a great lunch and we give away a lot of door prizes, and of course we have a lot of fellowship and camaraderie. And tomorrow is going to be special because Deanne and I and Denny's are going to be providing a special treat to all the people that show up at Lunch Bunch. So don't miss it. And a lot of door prizes, too, sponsored by our friends at Walmart and, of course, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Denny's, all of this and more at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. 611 North Overland in Burley for Zeb's Lunch Bunch tomorrow at 11:30. Be there. We have a birthday boy in the audience. A birthday boy in the audience, and I'm sure that he's probably put his boots on and headed outside. I should have put this on earlier this morning, but a real cowboy buckaroo by the name of Berwin Mussman. Berwin is a dear friend of mine. I wish him the best and the happiest of birthdays. I asked last year when I told everybody his birthday was on a certain day on the air, I said, can I please have a piece of birthday cake? Never got a piece of cake. Never once even saw the frosting. Berwin, happy birthday. Enjoy your day. There you go. Coming up next hour, we're going to, one of my favorite segments. This is really neat because earlier this morning I called Josh Anderson with Sportsman's Warehouse, and he is the main man on our old fishing hole. Now, we started this a year ago, and he's actually fishing at a location when we put him on the air. Now, this morning, he's going to be out at Salmon Dam. And we talked to him earlier this morning at about 7 o'clock, and he's already out there. He's fishing for walleye, and he's going to tell us what kind of tackle we need to go get the big walleyes. He's going to be talking about fishing in other areas. He's going to be talking about 4th of July specials that are going on at Sportsman's Warehouse. And he's even going to be talking about snakes. So tune in at 10:06 this morning for the old fishing hole. And then at 10:32 this morning, we've got the CEO of Trail Life USA, Mark Hancock's going to be on the air. So we've got a full plate for another hour. I think that's going to do it for this hour, and I think I'm going to sit back and kind of enjoy a little bit of music as we head on up to the news from CBS. Don't you go away, Zeb at the Ranch. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Oh my, a little bit overcast outside, but a nice day this Wednesday, June 26th. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell. And of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. Along with some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Wheels, old buddy, could we please have that good word for the Silver State Stampede?
The thunder of hooves, the thrill of an 8-second ride. All the fun of PRCA rodeo action is at your fingertips July 12, 13, and 14 when the 2019 Silver State Stampede makes its way to the Elko County Fairgrounds. This PRCA-sanctioned rodeo brings you the thrill of pro riders, mini bull riders, Old West bronc riding, mutton busting, and the always popular Ring of Fear. Family Day on Sunday and the dancing to the music of Moonshine Outlaws. Show your support on Saturday night with Tough Enough to Wear Pink. Gates open on Friday and Saturday at 4 p.m. and on Sunday gates open at 12 noon. Advance tickets on sale now at JM Capriolas, Roy's, IFA, the Boot Barn, and the Elko Chamber of Commerce office. Family entertainment at its very best. The 2019 Silver State Stampede, open ride on the wild side.
Thank you. And before we get to our guest right now, I want to talk to you quickly about Patterson's at 421 East Main in Burley. Hello, Curtis. Hello, Lorena. Hello, the entire staff at your electronic headquarters. They've got it all. They know it all. And that's not bragging. That's a fact. And they can help you with all the car stereos and the speakers and the complete sound systems and all the televisions with Samsung, Sony, Toshiba, and all your electronic needs like your home theater systems, video surveillance cameras. And they've even got trailer hitches over there. I mean, they aim to serve you, and they do at Patterson's. Don't forget, they're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6, and they're located at 421 East Main in Burley. Want to give them a call? Go ahead, 678-6997. Patterson's in Burley. Right now, it's time for one of my absolute favorite segments on my program, and it's called The Old Fishing Hole, and it's with our friends at Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls, and the fishing expert, the guru, and he's standing in the water right now. Josh Anderson, how are you?
Doing good, Zeb. How are you doing today?
Well, not as good as you, because here I'm sitting in a 16 by 16 room, and I'm talking to you while you're out fishing. Something's wrong with this picture.
Oh, I'm enjoying Salmon Dam on my day off. It's just about a perfect day, like you were saying. A little overcast, a little chop on the water, but fishing's been pretty good if you are looking to put a few fish in the live well.
Well, now, Josh, okay, let's start from right there. Are you on the water in a boat? Are you on the shoreline? What's the best way to fish Salmon Dam?
Oh, Salmon Dam's definitely best fished from a boat. I'm fishing from shore today. The water's up high and into the willows in some spots, a little off color. But, yeah, if you could get out here in a boat, you definitely could cover more water and probably put a couple extra fish in the boat.
Okay, now wait a minute. You said the water's a little off color. Now, for a man that wants to learn more about fishing, what does that mean?
Oh, your visibility into the water, depending on what end of the reservoir you're on. The visibility into the water, could vary from, a couple feet to, being able to see the 10 feet into the water. Right now, Salmon Dam's got, a couple feet of visibility where I'm at.
Okay. Now, you're walleye fishing, and give us kind of a little thumbnail sketch of what you do to be a successful walleye fisherman.
Well, today I just kept it simple, really. I've lost a lot of rigs, meaning I snagged up a lot. I'm just using a jig head and about a half a worm, and it seems to at least be allowing me to catch enough fish to keep me busy, and I'll probably change to some kind of big jig or crankbait, see if maybe if I can catch a bigger fish later.
Okay, now, the
regulations here, you're only allowed to keep one fish over 20, so I'm going to be looking for that one big fish soon.
All right. Now, Josh, let me ask you this. Being born and raised back in Wisconsin, and I did a lot of river fishing, we'd just go to the edge of the river, we'd bait up our hooks, and just kind of throw it out and let it sit. Sometimes we used a bobber, sometimes we didn't. We just waited for that line tug. What do you do to catch and be successful catching walleye?
Well, for me, if I'm fishing this technique where I'm just using a half a night crawler on a jig head, I'm using a chartreuse jig head and about 1/8 of an ounce and some 8-pound test line and I'm throwing it out there, letting it sink to the bottom, and then I'm making a slow retrieve to where I'm trying to keep it next to the bottom. And probably my biggest trick to it is if you haven't lost any jig heads in the rocks, you're going too fast with it.
So in other words, optimum would be to have to sit there and tie knots all day, right?
Well, not optimum, but yeah, I mean, definitely it keeps you in the fish. I have a lot of friends that will come with me and wonder what I'm doing different. And I'll ask them when we're doing this kind of fishing how many jig heads they've lost, and if they haven't lost any, that's their problem.
Well, you know, you make
get it down there near the bottom, and usually then you'll pick up some smallmouth bass and some walleye pretty quickly. But yeah, if you're not losing a 25-cent jig head here or there, then you're not usually catching as many fish.
Josh, tell me a little bit about the walleye itself. Now, walleyes back in my home state in the Midwest, Wisconsin, along with the northern pike and the muskies, they were really good sport fishing back there. What makes them so popular out here in Idaho?
I think it's just they eat really well. They're mild, white, flaky fish, a lot like cod or halibut. Probably one of the best freshwater eating fish there is.
Now, when you're fishing from the bank instead of a boat, what conditions or what area or where do you want to be? Where do you want to stand? What do you look for as possibly a great place to throw your line in the water?
Just basically looking at the rocky structure along the shoreline for any kind of change in pattern, where it goes from mud to rock, or if I can find a ledge or a drop-off where it goes from 4 or 5 feet deep to 12 feet deep, and there's kind of a structure line that's developed. Anything like that where it transitions into something else and it has a long shelf pattern bay. Usually wherever those changes happen from mud to rock, it seems to be where I can find a fish.
Okay, now talk a little bit about the tackle that you're using. You mentioned about your bait. You mentioned about what kind of a setup you've got. Go over that whole thing, and then also give us a little clue as to the rod and reel you're using.
Well, I'm using a 7-foot ultralight rod with a size 2500 reel and some 6-pound fire line because I kind of prefer braid, and then I put about a 8 or 10 foot piece of fluorocarbon, 8 or 10 pound off the end of that, and it allows me to make really long casts, and that fluorocarbon leader gives me really good abrasion resistance in these rocks and or those walleye teeth if they swallow your jig all the way down.
Oh my. Now talk a little bit about what do you do differently if you were out in a boat?
Really, I would probably, instead of using the spinning gear, because today, being on shore, I want to be able to make long casts. Casting would be kind of not as important as in for distance. I'd probably be either trolling or drifting with a bait casting reel. A lot of times what we do is we still use the same jig head and a worm, and we just, with this wind chop, it would be perfect because you wouldn't be going too fast. All you'd be doing is using the trolling motor to keep you out of the rocks, and you'd drift right along the shoreline trying to keep your jig head near the bottom.
Now, last year, if memory serves me correct, you were out at Salmon Dam when I talked to you one morning, and you said, oh, my goodness, I've already ran into 2 rattlesnakes. What's the snake situation for this year?
I'm sure they're around. I haven't been out looking for them. I haven't ran into any of them today, but I'm still vigilant that I'm sure they'd be away or around. The weather this year has been a little cooler, and fishing it took a little while to pick up because of the slight climate change that we had this spring.
Okay.
So maybe the snakes will be out later more so than they are right now. I don't know. I just hope I don't see them.
Josh, let me ask you, though, that relates to other products also at Sportsman's Warehouse. Would you encourage anglers when they're fishing on the rocks down there at Salmon Dam or anywhere else to go and get a snake bite kit? And how do they know the best ones to get at Sportsman's Warehouse?
Really, I would just probably, we have a snake bite kit, but if I honestly got bit by a snake, I would probably be just tying a tourniquet around the area of the bite and trying to contact medical attention depending on my situation and where I might be.
Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about next week being a big week with the Independence Day sale on a lot of great items at Sportsman's Warehouse. You're the man. Tell us about some of the great things that people need to come in and check on.
My department, we got a couple of nice combo rods in those 6-foot rods, and they'd be perfect for the starter to get going. You'd end up wanting to probably pick up some 8-pound test monofilament, and jig heads, and maybe a couple dozen worms, and he'd be ready to go out of my department.
Oh my! Now, also, one of the things I was going to ask you about the last time we were on the air together, what about a good knife? What would you suggest, not only for fishermen but anybody? What about knives? What's a good quality knife that you can depend on?
I've always been a really big fan of just a really good pocket knife, just as a standby, but I jumped on this bandwagon last year after being in Wyoming on a couple of hunts, and I've got talked into those Havilon knives. They're a replaceable, exchangeable blade type system. They make one that comes with a fillet blade and a drop point. They're just so handy that it's hard to go without. They definitely, when they get stalled, you just swap out the blade, and they are resharpenable, so you save the blades. But then if you take 2 or 3 blades, you just never have a dull knife. They're surgical sharp and so handy to have around.
You've even got canoes at Sportsman's Warehouse, and I understand that for the Independence Day sale, you've got the Saranac canoes on a special price. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, we have a pontoon boat also in the fishing department that's on sale. It's normally $250 to $199. It's an 8-foot pontoon boat. Comes with oars. It'd be a great little personal fishing device. It's very stable if you're worried about tipping over. And then, yeah, there's several canoes and kayaks we got around. We even got a new 10-foot angler kayak that's got a pedal drive.
Oh,
so
my.
you can pedal it with your feet, and it actually goes forward and backwards with a pedal prop.
Oh, my goodness. And what about the fishermen that are going to catch their fish and then go over to a nice kind of a shady spot and do all the cooking? You've got all the camp stoves and everything, right?
Oh, yeah. We got Camp Chef cook stoves. We got some Lodge and some other brand cast iron, Dutch ovens and skillets and all that kind of fun stuff and everything to get you ready. I think we have a few tents on sale even.
Oh, my. Well, now, how many fish have you caught so far this morning?
I've got 2 perch and about 4 walleye. Did catch a trout. I let it go. And I've caught a lot of little bass. I don't think any of them have been over 12 inches as of yet. Okay.
You're still looking for that 20-inch walleye?
Yeah, I'm going to for probably another hour after I talk to you guys, and then I'll sneak back home and see what's going on.
You know, we really appreciate the on-the-spot reporting while you're fishing. And right now, today out at Salmon Dam, Josh Anderson, and he is the head man of the fishing department right there at Sportsman's Warehouse at 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. Josh, have fun. I envy you, and thank you for an excellent report here this morning.
Well, I appreciate your time, Zeb.
All right. God bless you, man. Catch that big one. Go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Anderson with Sportsman's Warehouse. That guy is absolutely phenomenal. You got to go into the store and meet him. Excuse me. He is the head of the fishing department there at Sportsman's Warehouse, and he eats, sleeps, and breathes 24/7, 365 fishing. He knows all about it. I know I walked in there a year ago, and I said, hey, what do I need here? What do I need there? And he lined me out in about 5 minutes, had it all taken care of. And they've got such a great display of Independence Day sale items, all the way from different tents, all the way to knives, all the way to fishing equipment, waders, everything. You better get into Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. Reese and the crew ready to serve you. I've got time for a couple of calls, and I'd like to have a couple of calls. Give me a jingle on the landline at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Want to remind you, this is the big week for the Idaho Regatta. The boats are coming to town. And, I mean, some of these boats, like I've been saying every time I talk about it, they can reach speeds of up to 140 miles an hour. Whoa! All of this at the world-famous Idaho Regatta. It's going to start tomorrow night, actually, with the show and shine right there on the Rupert Square. And then Friday, of course, the boat parade in Burley. And then Friday afternoon, they're going to have some of the races start. Saturday and Sunday, full slate of racing. All of this and more right there at the Burley Golf Course Marina. It's the, like I said, world-famous Idaho Regatta for 2019. Get your tickets now. You can go to idahoregatta.org, or you can buy them right there at the gate. I'm telling you what, get a good spot and just enjoy some of the fastest boats you'll ever see at the world-famous Idaho Regatta this weekend. Oh, like I said, calls are welcome and appreciated. Give us a jingle on the landline. Did you hear about Clint Eastwood? You got to admire a guy like Clint Eastwood. You know, he's always been a tough guy. And from the spaghetti westerns, actually, he started on Rawhide TV series, and then he had the famous spaghetti westerns that were filmed over in Italy, etc. And he's always been, you know, for a few dollars more, and the good, the bad, and the ugly, etc. He doesn't care about anybody's feelings or the wussy attitude of where he's got to supposedly follow the bus. Not Clint Eastwood. While Hollywood is taking a great big pot shot at the state of Georgia because they have a right-to-life attitude in Georgia, and they're not following the sinister abortion lifestyle of Hollywood. And Georgia was boycotted, supposedly, by Hollywood as far as not having any more motion pictures filmed there. Not Clint Eastwood. He said, I am going to go ahead and take my production company down to Georgia. We're going to be shooting my next film there in Georgia. If you don't want to be a part of my film, you don't want to be a part of my crew, don't. I'll find somebody else. And Clint Eastwood, make my day, Clint Eastwood, is going to film his next movie in Georgia and basically thumb his nose at the rest of the loons in liberal Hollywood. I salute today Clint Eastwood. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Oh, by the by, I want to also say a great big shout-out to another one of our great sponsors, and that's, of course, Dino's Septic Service. Hello, Dino's. Mighty fine people serving you with a job that you and I don't want to do. I don't want to stand out there and pump out a septic tank. No, you don't want to be messing around with sewer and sink drain lines that need to be cleaned. No, you don't want to be involved in liquid waste removal. No, they do it with a smile on their face. Dino's Septic Service. Please get a hold of them today. And believe me, they've got numbers at 436-6526 or 678-1638. Fast, fair, friendly service always. Dino's Septic Service with the big truck that says smells cargo on the way. Dino's Septic Service. Caller, I thank you. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Zeb, you mean you're telling me that the state of Georgia believes that children are important? What a wonderful thing.
No, the state of Georgia did something like other states have done, and they said, we're going to be a pro-life state. We believe in the sanctity of life, and they said that they're going to go ahead and promote that. And Hollywood was absolutely incensed against them, and Clint Eastwood told Hollywood, I'm going to go film there whether you like it or not.
Well, you know, it's kind of a wonderful thing that one of our states, and I know there's more than one,
yes,
that believe that children are important. Hollywood probably believes that eagles and eagle's feathers and eagle eggs are more important than a child. I'd give up every eagle that ever lived for one child.
Yes, absolutely. Jerry,
they are not important to me at all.
Jerry, let me ask you a question.
On this earth is a great thing.
Jerry, let me ask you a question right there. Every day on my program, and I take some criticism over this, so be it, but I try to bring out stories about what America is really doing and where America is heading. And a lot of it is negative, but it has to be cleaned up. And I think that we need to draw these stories in front of the public's attention so that we can demand that basically it's cleaned up and stopped. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think anybody that would say abortion and not call it murder has to be a complete idiot. That's absolutely nothing more than murdering, mutilating, destroying a body, tearing it to pieces, and throwing it away. And it's a life with that body. And I don't care who has it. Any time in this world, our children are very, very important. They're about the most wonderful thing this earth has.
Yes.
And I support life of our babies and our unborn in every way.
Absolutely. Jerry, I thank you, as always, for your call, and hopefully we'll see you at Lunch Bunch tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Well, if my doctor lets me out, I'll be there.
All right, my friend. God bless you. Thank you so much.
You bet. May the Lord bless you and your whole audience.
I appreciate it. Thank you, my dear friend. Hey, I want to remind you, too, I got another minute here to tell you about the Bennett Boys auction, and they're going to have a ripping good auction on this Saturday at 11 o'clock over in the Twin Falls area, 2515 East, 3820 North from the Curry Crossing. Go south 2 miles, then east on Debbie Lane. It's the Colleen Reeves Living Estate Auction, and I've seen a lot of the things they're going to be selling, like furniture, oak pedestal kitchen tables, and oak china hutches, and bookshelves, and household items, antiques, lots of antiques, and lawn and garden items, shop items, sporting items, all of this at the Colleen Reeves Living Estate Auction this Saturday at 11 o'clock, managed by Bennett Boys Auction Service. You don't want to miss it. For more information, get a hold of my dear friend Joe Bennett, and that number, of course, is 539-0111. Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. Right now, we're going to send it back over to Wheels at our main studio. We'll be back in about 3 minutes with our next guest.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
And a good morning again on this Wednesday, June 26th. Zeb at the Ranch. We're in the final half hour of our program this morning. I have a gentleman coming on that's going to be talking about an organization called Trail Life USA Troops, and his name is Mark Hancock, and I'm looking forward to hearing about a story that when I first read about it, it made me very, very upset, but hopefully it has a happy ending. Let's say good morning to Mark Hancock. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Zeb. I'm doing well, thank you.
Before we go any further, you're the CEO of Trail Life USA. What is Trail Life USA for those in the audience that are not aware of it?
Well, Trail Life USA is a Christ-centered, boy-focused character leadership and adventure organization for boys. We're about 5 years old. We have troops in over 800 churches across the country, members in all 50 states. So we've grown very quickly, about 28,000 members in 5 years. And basically, we were started about five or 10 years ago. The Boy Scouts started to take a different direction in terms of their commitment to traditional values, and about 300 volunteers across the country got together and formed an organization called Trail Life USA. Like I said, we launched 5 years ago with about 10,000 members on our first day, and we've been growing ever since. Well, we do the typical things that you would expect: the camping, the hiking, the outdoor adventure, character opportunities. We have a robust awards program, patrols and troops. But the two distinguishing characteristics: we are unapologetically Christian, and we're also boy-focused. We only allow boys in the organization.
You know, all I can say right at the get-go is kudos to you, God's blessings to you, because I absolutely don't want you to weaken on this. I don't want you to have to face any of the problems that other organizations have faced with a liberal, loony left. But what are you anticipating for the future? As sure as I'm sitting here, Mark, you know I'm right. Somebody is going to start putting you in the target, and they're going to say, oh, no, we've got to change Trail Life USA. How are you going to stop it?
Well, the good news is, we were formed in the fires of this kind of cultural battle, and forged pretty strongly there with a good legal standing and good religious protection. So as long as we have our First Amendment rights, we'll be able to operate the way that we operate. We have no intention of giving up on our Christian focus or on our boy-centric programs, because that's what really makes us different. If we didn't have those things, there wouldn't be any need for us to exist. And we're growing at about 20% a year. So obviously parents, engaged parents who understand that there's differences between boys and girls and that boys benefit from their own program, they're excited about the program and telling other people, and we're just hanging on and keeping up with the growth.
You know, and I respect that, but you also have gone through a little trial and tribulation period already at a visit to a National Guard facility in Pennsylvania. Tell us what happened to Trail Life USA being banned from touring that National Guard facility.
Well, it was kind of a surprise to us because, as you can imagine, being a traditional conservative and Christian organization, we are pro-America. We're for our troops and our military, and imagine a lot of the boys in our Trail Life troops across the country are fit for service to our country, and they're willing to go to battle for our freedoms, to defend our country. So we were a little bit surprised when the troop in Pennsylvania was turned away from a National Guard facility. But as it turned out, it was just a lower-level employee who assumed that because we were boy-centric, that the rules that they have in the military that allows women to be a part, that we are somehow discriminatory. And so once they were confronted and reminded of our First Amendment rights, then they reversed their decision, and now, of course, our troop is welcome together. But the surprise was that, and of course, we get reminded of this every day, how far we've drifted as a country that understands what it means to have our rights, our First Amendment rights. To think that somebody could even think that it's okay to discriminate against an organization that has a religious foundation is just kind of a surprise. And that really goes to what it is that we are teaching our boys today. And that's another thing, Focus on Trail Life USA is we teach them about citizenship. We teach them about their American heritage. We teach them about the importance of their freedoms that we have in this exceptional country that we live in. So we're finding that parents are liking that the education they may not be getting in the traditional school environment, they're learning in Trail Life USA what it means to be an American.
How big is Trail Life USA right now? Are you centered in various parts of the country, like east of the Mississippi or all across the United States? Give my audience a semblance of how can their children be a part of it, or if it's available in their area.
Sure. Well, the easy thing to do is you go to the website, which is traillifeusa.com, Trail Life, 2 L's in the middle, traillifeusa.com, and you click on Get Connected. It has a map of the United States. You can put in your zip code, and it'll tell you all the troops that are in your area. We're in over 800 troops across the country. We have members in all 50 states. So we're probably centric in the southeast and across into Texas. So if you look at the map, it's kind of like a big smile on the United States. We have a good amount of groups up in the northeast and in the northwest and down in California and in Texas. But it's just a big smile on the country, but we're growing into other areas. Like I said, we now have members in all 50 states, 28,000 members, and we're growing, as I said, about 20% a year. So it's catching on. We charter primarily with churches. 99% of our troops are chartered with churches. We consider ourselves an outreach of that local church. We're not we just don't use their building to meet in. We consider ourselves to be a ministry of that church so they can reach their community.
What about people that are listening to the audience or listening in the audience right now, Mark, and they say, "Boy, I would love to get something started with my church." Is there a number or the website or both? I mean, can you give that to us on the air?
Well, here's the good news. If you go to the website and you look for a troop in your area and you can't find one close by, right there is also information on how to start a troop. And it takes about 5 adults in a church that's committed to the vision, that has a statement of faith that aligns with ours, typical statement of faith, also a statement of values that talks about things like purity and integrity and stewardship and service. And if that church can align with our statement of faith and we with theirs, and they have good leadership, five adults can start a Trail Life USA troop.
Mark, what did you do before you were involved with Trail Life USA? I mean, what was the motivating factor for you to leave what you were doing prior and get involved with this?
Well, I kind of have an interesting past. I started in the advertising business right out of college, and I ran an ad business for about 15 years. Then I went into ministry. I was a homeless ministry director, a pastor, associate pastor, and college pastor, and youth pastor. And then I also have a couple of master's degrees in mental health counseling, marriage and family therapy, and so I was operated as a marriage and family therapist for some time. But my boys were involved in Boy Scouts with me, and we would go to the meetings. And when Boy Scouts started making some of these decisions and their membership standards, we realized that we couldn't be a part. And we caught up with about 300 other volunteers who were floating this idea of an alternative organization, and somehow I got caught up in that current. And was privileged enough to serve on the founding board of directors, and then I stepped off the board of directors on January 1st, 2014, when we'd launched, and I became, at that time, the COO, and then within a few months, I was given the title of CEO. So I kind of ended up here just through an interesting wave of events, but I'm just thrilled to be serving our 28,000 members across the country.
You know, Mark, I have long said on my program that morally, ethically, our values, our old, real staunch values of family life, and kind of going back to the pictures on the Saturday Evening Post magazine of mom and dad walking their kids to church on Sunday morning or sitting around the table later, having a meal together as a family. I maintain the slogan I use at the end of my program, the way things were are the way things ought to be. We've got to go back to the basics in this country. We're about ready to go over the cliff. Would you agree or not?
Yeah, I would. And we talk about boys as being the canary in the coal mine of this culture. You know how they would put the canaries in the coal mines to see if it was dangerous in there. And boys are really faltering. They're twice as likely than girls to be declared special education, 3 times more likely to be declared ADHD. They have fallen behind girls in every single academic category. Their suicide rates are soaring. Boys are in trouble. They're showing us that that's the future of our culture if we're not careful. So we're paying particular attention to boys, and that's why we're boy-focused and boy-centric. We think that boys and girls are different. Boys need a program that's aimed at them. So do girls. Boys need a program that's aimed at them and understands their strengths in the way that they need to be led. And so we're restoring some of those things, some of those outlandish things to say things like boys and girls are different. And we just believe that. And when you put boys in an outdoor environment of adventure and character and leadership opportunities, surround them with men who are background checked, child and safety youth protection trained, who have personal references, who have training from our home office, then you've got a great recipe for boys who are growing up in the way boys used to grow up, in the company of men, learning how to do manly things, how to respect other people, how to value other people, how to stand up for their rights. All those things that used to be a natural part of our culture, we're restoring in Trail Life.
Oh man, I tell you what, it's exciting to hear you say that. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but I want you to elaborate a little bit more with our culture and especially the media. And I absolutely condemn the media. I condemn the so-called sitcoms and primetime TV. They have diminished men. They have diminished their roles. They've made them look like bumbling idiots. And that's something that we have to turn around, and I'm not quite sure how to do it.
Well, like I said, it's showing in our boys, the damage of that. And you got to remember, we're 50 years or so of making decisions that involved kids without really thinking about the effects on them, from abortion to our marriage, our definition of a marriage, to no-fault divorce, to all kinds of decisions that we made. We weren't thinking about the effect on the kids, and we're starting to see that by now. But there are parents, and I can encourage you, Zeb, that there are people who understand that what we're standing for in Trail Life USA is good, and that it's making a difference. And we're seeing fathers who are uniting with their sons in a way they haven't been able to do that before. We're seeing boys who don't have a father in their home finding a male mentor, a dad-like, through the Trail Life USA program, finding boys and men that he can be around and learn how to be a man. Single moms are loving the program. Men are uniting with other men in ways they didn't before. Because you got to understand, you go out camping with a bunch of boys, the boys bed down at some point, and the men stay around that campfire and they talk about how they're parenting their sons or how they're working with their sons. They talk about how they have a particularly good relationship because they did this or they did that. So men are bonding with each other. Men are bonding with their sons. Single moms are loving it. We're creating an environment where we can reverse this trend, and these boys will be standing tall as they become winning and focused men.
Wow. All I can say is God's blessings to you and your organization. And, Mark, I certainly hope you'll consent to coming back in the future. I want to learn and read more and have more information. I'd love to have you come back and visit again in the future.
That would be my pleasure, Zeb. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much. The organization is called Trail Life USA, and the CEO, Mark Hancock. Boy, at a time when the world is absolutely being tipped upside down by the media and the liberal sleaze, we hear something good, something really good about young men being trained to be young men through Trail Life USA. It sounds fantastic. Thank you, Mark Hancock. Oh, my. Oh, we better get the weather on here. Yes, and the weather, and then we'll take some more phone calls, is brought to you by our friends at Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. Don Scarrow and his entire outfit, they are committed to serving you and selling you the most delicious of meats, whether it's the marinated pork ribs or the tri-tips or the bratwurst. I tell you what, you just can't go through the summer without having brats on the grill. You can't. With soft sourdough buns and cheese and onions and relish. Oh, I'm starved to death already. Don't forget Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Don Scarrow and the crew serving you. Right now, Gina has the weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast as we hit midweek stride, making our way towards the weekend. And today's going to be a nice day, looking at partly sunny skies. Expecting a high of 81 tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 53 tomorrow. Another nice one. Mostly sunny skies, slightly breezy, high of 78. Looks like clouds are going to be rolling in for tomorrow night with a low of 51. Looks like mostly cloudy for Friday, only a high of 75. And then as we kick off the Rupert 4th of July celebrations on Saturday, mostly sunny skies and 80. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
I'm thinking it's going to be really nice all the way through the 4th of July, Independence Day. Sounds great. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't forget Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. That number to call, 324-7657. Delicious meats. And don't forget, they're changing the way we eat, one great bite at a time. Caller, good morning. Thank you for your call. Appreciate it.
Yes, Zeb, you know James O'Keefe and what he did and the things that were said by Google and the people that are higher up that,
Hold on a second, Randy. Randy, wait a minute. I'm not hearing hardly anything in my headset. Over at the station wheels, you've got to ride the gain and turn him up. Go ahead again, Randy, please.
Yes, sir. Is this better?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know what James O'Keefe did with Google and the people and what they said and how, these giant media companies, how they said that, that they'll never, if any means necessary, ever allow an outsider like Trump to ever be elected to office again. And you say to yourself, when Donald Trump was elected in 2006, the world shuddered. The ruling elite shuddered. The leaderships around the country, around the world, shuddered because they weren't sure what they were going to get But now after 2 years, I think they understand what they've got to a point, and there's no trifling with this man. And so he's changed the way things are. And when you hear these polls that say that Elizabeth Warren will beat Trump, or Joe Biden would beat Trump in Florida, and it's close in Texas, and you're scared to death. But then you have a guest like you had earlier from Florida, from Tampa, and about the Trump book. And see, the reality is that, all it's about is this election. And they're doing everything they can to destroy him. And the anxiety is just, it's almost unhealthy, wondering whether or not he'll be reelected. But I have faith that he will. It's just like he said, there's a lot of people that would never admit that they're voting for Trump. If I'm not mistaken, that's what your guest said. And so, we worry, but maybe, it's all going to be all right.
Well, no, wait a minute. There's a word called complacency. And I'm very, very afraid that people are going to say, oh, it's going to be all right. Trump's going to get reelected. Oh, it's going to be all right. We're going to continue on with this economy. Oh, it's going to be all right. We're going to close the borders on the southern border and be more of a sovereign nation that protects the taxpayers instead of illegal aliens. And you know what? Complacency is going to kill us. If we don't go to the polls, each and every one of us, and resoundingly defeat any Democrat that's on the ticket, then we deserve the problems that we get.
We do. And you know what's going to really be interesting is to see what the ratings are on these debates. If it's anything like the viewers who watch MSNBC or CNN, what network is it on? Do you know?
According to what I've heard and read, it's all going to be on NBC tonight.
Okay, so it's on yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of ratings they get. And, of course, NBC is going to pull more than CNN or MSNBC. But still, it'll just show us what kind of interest. Of course, there's going to be a lot of, people who just want to see, I don't know. I guess they're going to be curious.
Well, I'll tell you what, Randy, each and every one of us, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but each and every one of us should watch these debates because we need to know what kind of people these are. We need to know what kind of answers they can provide to questions, even though I'm sure there'll be softball questions. We need to know who, and I'm going to state it this way, who the enemy is. Everybody should be very aware as an American who and what these people are.
Oh, yeah. And you see, if you're watching and you're uninformed or willfully ignorant, will it register that these people are dangerous? They are truly dangerous. There is no one of them that is a leader of any way, shape, or form. It had to be on this program this morning, yours. Somebody said, well, it may not even end up being the people that are already... The nominee may not even come out.
That's right. Yeah, John Chambers stated that earlier this morning. Randy, I don't want to cut you off because you're bringing up good points, but I got to wrap things up, and I do appreciate your call. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right, sir. Hey, by the way, I welcomed to this program yesterday a brand new advertiser, and I just have got to stop in and visit with these folks because they really have a home atmosphere at Greystone Crossing. Absolutely an independent senior living in Heyburn. Homemade meals, housekeeping provided for all the folks. And if you need to go on an appointment, they'll make sure that you're loaded up and taken to the appointment or get your hair done or see your doctor. It's a real personable, very personable business to help serve you. And the best thing about Greystone Crossing, you're never alone. It's never too big, and you're always going to be there with friends that you really enjoy enjoy being with. You'll have your own room, your own bathroom, exterior entrance, enjoy meals together. I urge seniors, I really do, to call this number today, 650-4979. 650-4979. Talk to Kelly or Matt Wiggins, nice people, at Greystone Crossing, just across from the fire station on 21st Street. That's El Fresco Road. And call them today for an appointment to look at the facilities and really enjoy Greystone Crossing. We're out of time, but holy smokes, did we have a good program this morning, and I thank you for all your involvement, all your questions, all your comments. And tomorrow, Thursday, I'm going to be on the air tomorrow. We've got another interview with some of the great people at Burley Physical Therapy. We've got Cassia County School Days, and also tomorrow we've got Zeb's Lunch Bunch at Denny's Restaurant. Don't miss it at 11:30. Our major sponsor, of course, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with all the tires you need for your safe driving. Many of these tires right now are on sale. You can go in and save money, like on the Passenger Ultra Z900, all-season traction tire on sale for your automobiles. Or try this one for your passenger cars. And we want to talk about your pickups and SUVs, the Open Country MT, on sale right now. Outstanding traction, aggressive tread design. You better check it out at all 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And then, too, the best in brake service, front-end alignments, shocks and struts, batteries. Wow, the service they provide for your safe driving. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Got to run. I'm running late. Wheels, by golly, have a good day. The way things were, the way things ought to be, and the world needs more cowboys. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 8:06.